Hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And a couple of thank you cards. I'm using some new products from the Simon Says Stamp Shine On Release. And yeah, this was fun. And I managed to not make a mess on the back of my cards. I'll explain that in the video. It was a process. So anywho, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. It's what helps, keeps the lights on, pays the bills, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, let's get into making these cards. So I'm using the Firefighter bundle from the Shine On release. And I'm starting with the stencil set. And it's actually a set of 2 stencils, but I'm only using one of them. The billowing, technically kind of billowing flames. But then I was like, ooh, this would also really work for like cloud backgrounds, etc. And this stencil, Simon has released several over the years similar to this, where it just looks like kind of like the shape like cut into it. Like they're not separate pieces. And I've done them one either or. Like I've snipped them apart, and I actually do later on in this. I snip apart part of the stencil. But the concept is you just insert your cardstock as I've shown, and then you use the stencil as a stencil and a mask. So this first little corner, I'm working on just A2 panels of cardstock here. And I blended Zest ink over that one little corner portion. And then for the insides of my cards, because you guys know I like to do the insides, I am using the stencil on the insides as well, just with, I'm not adding extra ink. I'm just kind of using what's on my brush, what's left on the stencil, etc. And this is where I was like, because I'm, inserting the cardstock into the stencil, and I'm like, I don't want to get ink all over the back of my card. There's ways to prevent this. But the way I was doing it, I was just like, this is going to make a mess. So I cleaned between colors. A lot of times I don't bother till the very end, but this just to help me. And I have just a Mighty Mister bottle that I keep just isopropyl, like basic 70% alcohol in. I use it only to clean my stencils and my glasswork surface. Do not use alcohol on your grip mat. You can see it in the corner there. Your photopolymer stamps, anything like that. Rubber stamps, do not use alcohol in them. Over time, it will ruin them. Like it will eat away at that and wreck it. But on stencils and on glass, it's fine. And you can just use water as well, but I prefer alcohol because it dries really quickly, and then we're good to go. So the second portion of the stencil, this is where you start using the stencil as a stencil and a mask, because part of it is masking off what I first stenciled, and then I've got the opening for the next color. And I'm going to keep getting darker and darker. So the first little bit is easy because I'm using yellow inks, and yellows don't cause too much grievance other than for me personally with filming and taking photos, because yellows make everything go weird. But working with them, they're a delight. They're pretty and they're happy, and they don't seem to get it everywhere as much. It's when we start getting into the darker colors. So I had gone away from using the grip mat for the first bit, because I was finding doing more than one at a time, plus then switching to the insides, plus the way this stencil is getting the cardstock in there. I was like, the grip mat was just getting in the way, but he's going to get pulled back out in a second. So everything's kind of going swimmingly here. I got the first 2 shades of yellow blended, got that on the inside as well. I've cleaned off my stencil again. And then now we're getting into the darker shades. So I started with Sherbet, and this one was still fine because this is like a lighter orange shade. And I was having so much fun with this stencil. Literally, I kind of this collection in this release at first, I was just like, oh, that's, it's nice. Like, I like the idea behind it and everything else. And I wasn't really thinking much of it until I started creating with it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. This is fun. So I did the first bit on the first card front panel, doing the second one, just blending on that sherbet ink, and larger areas, more ink. Like there's more ink on the stencil. I got ink everywhere. It was everywhere. And I made that comment in the intro about like keeping the back of my card clean. Honestly, I don't overly care. Like, it's not the end of the world. And most of my cards have like smears of ink, fingerprints, splatter. How I manage to get on the back of my cards, I don't know. It just happens. I don't worry about it too much, but I also don't want to get like just a ton of, smears and ink and like just a big old mess. And doing something like this, there was a good chance. What I could have done is put just like masking paper on the back of the card panel, completely covered it. But shocking, like I literally got nothing on the back of it. I got smears elsewhere. We'll get to that. But so far, it was working. Everything was working. And I was kind of surprised. So, clean off the ink from this. Now, with this next color, this is where it starts getting a little more complicated because I had a specific, amount of colors I wanted to use. And with this panel, you can see right here, I was like, this isn't how I'm going to want it to be. So my first attempt was to just place the card panel in the stencil like this, because I still want to add like 2 more colors. And I'm starting here with terracotta, and my terracotta ink pad was juicy, super juicy, really intense. This is a really nice deep orange, and like I got it everywhere. It was everywhere. I had it on my fingers. I was feeling as I'm like working out how to make this work best for me, and for a bit here, I just kept fighting with the stencil, and then I'm gonna snip it. It's gonna make my life so much easier. So I started like that first bit and then moved it so I could mask off the previously inked areas and then blend. And it was like right around here where I'm just like, this is not working. And I was getting annoyed. So then I was like, snip right where those little like circular holes at the end of each like cut is. Because then I can move it where I want it. It's so much easier this way. And I'm totally fine with that. So once that was snipped apart, everything just went easier. So I still cleaned everything off because I had ink just everywhere. And now I'm going to be able to do this so much easier on the next panel, because there we go. Line up the part I cut off, and then I can just stencil over this. And this is where the grip mat comes in handy, because now it can hold things in place, and I'm not getting ink technically everywhere, but I still managed. When we get to the red, it's always the reds. Reds like to, they like to do that. So got that blended and just loving. I don't know. This was fun. So for the insides, I just wiped off some of that excess ink to make sure I'm not getting it all over. I can mask off the previous inking there, and then get some Post-it tape right at the score line so I don't get ink past the score line. And so far, so good. Just using what's left on my brush, whatever's left on the stencil here, to add the ink to the insides of these cards. And that was great. It's when we get to the red that red has a way. It really does, because red is what will stain everything. But it also just, I don't know what it is. It just likes to like jump all over the place. So all this was fine. And then I'll get the last little bit here. And this is where I go in with apple, aka red. So I'm just going to blend this along the top, and this is going to finish off what will be the card front panel. And so far, so good. Everything's fine. I got like one little splotch on the one little corner, but that's fine. I was planning on cutting these down a bit, so I just like masked that off with the Post-it tape. That's where when I grabbed this Post-it tape, I wasn't thinking. So I'd press this Post-it tape to the stencil, and I got ink on the back of the Post-it tape. So I wiped off my mat, because I'm going to put the card base onto here, and I don't want to get ink everywhere, and pressed the stencil where I want it to go, and put the Post-it tape. And there's ink on the back of it. So blended what was on my brush. Everything was good. Go to remove the stencil, and it doesn't show up as much on camera, but there is like ink on the inside of the card, like smeared there. And I was like, of course. Easy to remove though. I just used my little mono sand eraser. A little sanding block works too. Swiped it off, and then got ink on the front, on the card front. I had somehow like a blob of red ink on my finger, and when I picked up the card base, I got it on the card front. But that's gonna get covered up. So yeah, I'm like I said, I made a mess, but I kept the backs of the cards pristine, and the little bit on the inside sanded off. The bit on the front we're gonna cover up, so everything's good. So splatter, gotta add splatter. For these, I went with distress paints. Specifically, I pulled out mustard seed and crackling campfire. So I put my card fronts into my splat box, got the paint on my little palette here, added some water, just a thin amount of bit, just so it splatters nicely, and did a heavy amount of splatter on these with these paints. Just gives it that little extra, something. It would also help too if I had made any oopsies with the stenciling and that, like if there had been any accidental like smears, etc. That's why I love splatter so much, because you can use it to cover it up or just distract. It's like, oh, it was intentionally meant to be messy. This is why I love it, y'all. This is why I love splatter so much, because I'm clumsy, I make a mess, and perfection's overrated, and who cares, So splattered on the crackling campfire. I set those aside to dry. For my sentiments, I'm using the Brave Firefighter set that's part of this little like bundle. There's a bundle and everything's available individually. I'll have links to all the things in the supplies. But this little stamp set, I've got lipstick red cardstock, and I put it in my MISTI. I used my anti-static powder tool on the cardstock to keep the embossing powder from clinging to anything other than the stamped image. And then I stamped the sentiments with clear embossing ink, coated them with white embossing powder, melted with my heat tool. Off camera, I used the microfiber cloth to buff away that excess anti-static powder that I got on the cardstock. And then I'll die cut it with the coordinating wafer dies. And then the sub-sentiment from that same stamp set, I pulled out Creamsicle cardstock for this. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool, and then ink up and stamp the sentiments with clear embossing ink, shift the cardstock upwards so I can do it a second time, and then coat with white embossing powder, melt with my heat tool, and then with those I will die cut with sentiment label wafer die, just quick and simple. So coated those, melted with the heat tool, let it cool off for a few seconds, and then I just used my microfiber cloth to buff away all that anti-static powder. And then while all that splatter was drying and I was die cutting the sentiments, I also die cut my little firefighters and the water from the wafer die set. And while I had my MISTI out, I also stamped sentiments onto the insides of the cards from that same Brave Firefighter stamp set. So I stamped those with the Verse Fine Clair Nocturne ink, and again, managed to not make a mess. Still kind of surprised with that. Anyway, my backgrounds, the splatter was dry. I trimmed these down to about 4 by 5 1/4 because I was originally going to trim them down anyway. And then to make sure I covered up the oopsie on the card front, I pulled out a wafer die for that. We'll get to that in a second. And then a little bit of baker's twine. Going to add that to my card fronts too. So I've got some yellow and white baker's twine, and I figured out where I wanted the bow to be, and then wrapped the baker's twine around the panel a couple times. Reverse tweezers as always for the win, to hold that knot in place, and then I can make them a bow, fiddle with it a bit, get it the way I want it, and then pull it tight, remove the tweezers, pull it tight again, trim off the tails. And then on the back of these panels, I put Big Mama foam tape just to pop them up a bit, give it a little bit of dimension without creating a whole lot of bulk. And to frame them, I die cut more lipstick red cardstock using the largest of the Postage rectangles wafer dies. Because one, I love that edge, but also I thought it just went really nice with this theme. So I'm going to adhere these to my card fronts, and this is going to cover up the one where I got that big old splotch of red ink. So it's covered, you can't see it. It's like it never happened. Everything's great. And then pop the other panel on with the Big Mama foam tape. So we've got that. And then the Firefighter, I die cut from Simon's So Very Black cardstock. And I'm also going to pop that up with just thin black foam squares. I thought about die cutting extras, but it was actually pretty quick just to add the foam squares, and then it just gives it that just extra little bit of dimension. So I popped the foam squares on, making sure to leave a gap for where the baker's twine is running. It just makes everything sit a little bit nicer. And then the little water spray I die cut from scraps of sea glass cardstock, and also going to pop those up with foam squares. And just as it's like coming together, it's like, oh, this just works. So the sentiments, when I die cut them, I also die cut scraps to be able to build up some dimension. And then I cut apart, like I layered 2 of the scraps that were die cut together. And then I'm going to just trim off what I need so that I can lay the sentiment out over top of like the Firefighter and then that little bit of baker's twine. So trimmed off what I needed, glued that to the back, and then I can pop that one into place. And then I kind of do the same thing for the sub sentiment. I just add little scraps to level everything out, and then pop that up with bits of the little foam squares as well, so that everything is just like, you know, not all wonky and wobbly. So added those little bits of the scraps, and then added in those little foam squares, and then repeated on the second card. So once those are in place, I thought about like adding bling, things like that, but I liked how this was. So the only thing I ended up adding was just some crystal stickles just to like the water spray. You know, I just thought that was just a little extra, just a little extra. You know, it gives me my bling, but doesn't overwhelm like the rest of the card. So put that on, just little thin amounts, let that fully dry, and these cards are complete. So the one oopsie got removed with the sanding eraser on the inside of the card, and the one on the front got covered up when I layered everything together. And then yeah, I managed to keep the backs of these cards clean. I'm sure by the time I actually like give them, I'll end up with fingerprints. It just is what it is. But yeah, I thought we would commemorate that this time because trust me, the backs of my cards usually like literally splatter, smudges, whatever, you know. And it just is what it is. But yeah, those are my finished cards. I will have links to all of the things in the description box below the video that you can check out if you're interested. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. I appreciate all of it. It helps a ton. And I will see all of you very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!